Good evening, Australia.
Good evening. Good
No,
evening. Good morning. Good morning. God, it's
good
6 a.m. for
good
you. It's
morning.
not we're
Very
not used to this, are we?
No, we're not. We're just a little backwards today, and that's okay. But it's dark outside for me. What's it look
Well,
like for you?
it's pitch black here. It's 11 p.m.
Well, there you go. We're both sitting in the dark. I
Yes.
wonder what our guest is sitting in, though. I'm anxious to find out from her. So,
I reckon it'll be dark there too.
wow, now that's kind of unusual for us, isn't it? Let's talk to her. Bring her in.
Okay. Come in, Christina.
There we
Is
Here.
go. Well,
is
so
in Hong
Christina, what?
Kong?
Yeah,
Is it
I'm in
dark
Hong
in Hong
Kong.
Kong at the
It
moment,
is.
Christina?
It is. It's 8 p.m. here.
We're all
Wow,
three sitting in the dark.
that's amazing.
Mine is dark morning. Yours is you two are at the dark at night. And I'm in the
Oh
dark of the
yeah,
morning.
I'm about to fall asleep.
Yeah,
Wow.
for Chris it's super late.
Yeah, it is super late. He's a night owl though sometimes.
Well, not yeah, kind of, but I've
You
become a
are.
bit of a morning person though. So because I've become a morning person, I have to go to bed a bit later,
Yes,
a bit
yes.
earlier,
Ah,
earlier.
Earlier.
Anyway, Christina, it's so lovely to meet you
oh, it's
Finally.
great to meet you
properly.
too. Yeah.
Mhm.
We've
So
exchanged emails and I know you for a long time, but like visually seeing each other, it's the first one.
so Christina has been a part of IPA for quite a while.
Yeah.
She's been one of our loyal members and an iridologist. So are you currently doing iridology in Hong Kong?
Yeah, I offer iridology. I do other things. I have two
Okay.
hats. I like to say I have two hats, and yes, part of one of the hats is iridology.
Oh, great. Well, what's your other hat?
Corporate. So my background is actually corporate. I come from advertising, and then I moved on to corporate training and executive coaching. So I do that corporate part, and then I do let's say the wellness part. The second hat is wellness and well-being.
How do you fit it all in?
That's a good question.
Amazing.
Yeah, I manage my time in between both. So let's say if I have corporate assignments, I take on the corporate assignments, and I also see clients here at a clinic, at a wellness clinic in Hong Kong. So there are certain days and hours that I'm there, and that's where my motto is like where corporate meets wellness.
Awesome. I love
So I
that.
like to integrate both. Yeah.
Good, good.
And Christina, how long have you been an iridologist?
Yeah, I was taking a look at actually 10 years now. So that's why Kathy was my president when I joined.
That's great.
Awesome.
That is great.
And who did you learn from?
I learned from Georgina Sear from Canada, but I did a long distance one because it was
Yes.
very difficult for me to travel and be overseas with a child. And so I did a long distance course.
Georgina
Cool.
is a great member of IPA,
Yeah.
and oh, she is
Very
a
proud.
powerhouse of knowledge.
Yeah.
She's extraordinary, and
Yeah.
she's actually my mentor as well. And I learned so much, and I even did other courses with her because she has this wealth of knowledge that it's unbelievable.
Yes,
Awesome.
I follow Georgina on Facebook, and for those that are looking for homemade fresh foods, she grows her foods. Everything she does is fresh and super clean. And I
Yeah.
would tell you that she is probably one of the best that I have seen as far as preparation,
Yeah.
food combining. Her diet is super clean, and I just wish that we could promote her more and get her out there for other people to see because, like I said, she is a wealth of knowledge.
She
And
walks the talk.
we need to be,
Totally.
yes, she does.
Oh.
She does. We all need to be uh, with somebody like Georgina. We need to have somebody like that teaching us more and more about food preparation. And she's fantastic. Fantastic. I love her.
Yeah.
Love her to pieces. Or we need to have her on.
We
Oh,
do.
absolutely. You should. You should. She's amazing.
Christina, we got to get her on.
Yeah.
Yes, we do. Oh my, Chris. I might have to turn you on to that.
I've tried. She's very busy.
She is busy. She is
Yeah.
busy. She's
Yeah,
hard to
she
get a
is.
hold of. Yeah.
Anyway, Christina, so what inspired you to become an iridologist?
It was a personal experience. Back, let's say, when in my mid-20s, living in São Paulo, so I was working with advertising, and well, I was always a very allergic child. Like I had all types of allergies, and so skin allergies, respiratory allergies, and then, with all the stress at work, things got worse.
Yeah.
And everything I ate was creating problems. And then one of my friends from work, she said, "You know what? I went to this lady and I found out all these things about me. It's like, give me her number." So then I booked a session with Dr. Liane Krasianov. And so Dr. Liane was an iridologist, and she also worked
In
with
Brazil?
homeopathy in Brazil, São Paulo.
Mhm.
And so she offered these both modalities. And when I came to see her, it was fascinating because for me, she put the puzzle together. I finally understood where my allergies were coming from and why one day it was on the skin and the other was me coughing and not breathing. And she explained, and actually it was that she introduced concepts like food combining.
Awesome.
And also elimination diet. And also, which was unbelievable, she gave me Bach flower remedies. So she was the first one to talk to me about emotions. Well, everybody was, like prickling me, like, doing all these skin tests and giving me cortisone and antibiotics. And she spoke with me about my body, what it liked and what it didn't like.
Yeah, wow.
And I found that fascinating. I even took my dad to see her. Dad, you got to experience this. Amazing. And so that was it. And it was in my mid-20s. But I thought, because she was a doctor, I thought I needed to be a doctor. And I said, oh, should I have studied, medicine for me, right? And so anyways, then here living in Hong Kong, I usually go to like Thailand for wellness retreats and things like that. And I came across two other practitioners. And then I was like, oh, but you don't need to be a doctor. She said, no, you don't need to be a doctor. You need to study iridology. And I was like, and how do I do that? And she told me, go to the association, in the US, Google. And so that's what I did. I came to Hong Kong, I Googled, and I asked the universe, show me the teacher that I need to be connected with.
Awesome.
And I saw Georgina's name and I emailed her and we started.
Oh, I love that story.
That's so cool.
It's beautiful. That's a beautiful
Yeah.
story. I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And on top of that, so I decided to study the other modalities that help me in my own wellness and well-being, which is Bach flower remedies. So
Yeah.
I'm also a practitioner, and I also work with crystal healing, because these are the three main modalities that help me rebalance, get to know my body, and get to take care of myself better.
That's, you know what? I had a session this weekend with a lady. And when we started talking with her, and she said, I had no idea there was anything like this that could see inside to my past and my present, where I am now, and possibly my future. And I said, well, yeah, there's not a lot of talk about it. I don't know why it is. Something like massage therapy is well known. We really need to get the word out about iridology. And she said, you really do. She said, because you've only just listed a few things for me that will really help. And I said, this will be the key. And it was something as simple as a Bach flower remedy. And I put her on an enzyme. And I said, this will change everything for you. Well, why do we need enzymes? Why do we need enzymes? And I said, well, as we age, we lose them. Just like our skin, the tone of our skin, we start to lose that as we age. The luster of our hair, we start to lose that. Chris has lost all the luster of his hair. So, I love you. And so when we talk about these things, as we age, that's part of aging. That's part of aging. But I haven't seen a medical doctor yet that will address enzymes. They do not address enzymes. I don't even know if they know what enzymes are. I don't know. I don't even care. I find that when I turn someone on to something as simple as enzymes, that's where we start. That's where the results start. So I totally get it. You know, for her to have turned you on to the Bach and to a few things like that, sometimes that's all you need to get you
Oh,
right. Yeah.
yeah,
Exactly.
I use a lot of bushflower remedies too. Like I use Australian bushflower remedies, and pretty much everyone I see gets
Mm-hmm.
some sort of flower essence.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
Oh,
needed.
absolutely. Yeah.
I love
And
the
some
Bach.
clients even, yeah, and some clients even ask me, does it really work? And I said, well, I'm also certified to work with animals, and I see the animals, the
Mhm.
results in animals. So I can
Yes.
tell you it really works.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. That is
Right.
awesome. So, Christina, surely with all the eyes you've seen in the last 10 years, do you have a favorite sign?
I do, and it's contraction florals, the stress rings.
Mm.
Mhm, mhm,
And there's a little story behind. When I started practicing for the exam, one of my friends told me, check my eyes, check my eyes. And she had history of cancer, breast cancer. And then I looked at her eyes and we did the photograph, and I was like, I was blown away because she's a biliary, and her eyes, you know, I had that golden background, that amazing golden background with so many like rings, like so many of them. And it felt like it was a little pond that we threw a stone. We had all those ripples.
Mm.
mhm,
The perfection in that golden background made it enhanced it even more, so it stood out. And I
Yeah.
was like, oh my God, I couldn't believe what I was seeing. And so it impacted me profoundly because it told me, of course, not only that she's a type A and she has the energy to do a lot of things, a lot of that, but it's almost like how she looked at life, you know,
Yeah.
and how she took on things, you know. So it was her relationship with the world
Yeah.
mhm,
and with people. So
Right.
for me, it was telling me a story
mhm,
Yeah.
about a soul.
mhm. That's exactly what it is.
Love it.
That's wonderful. Love how you put that too. That's great.
Yeah. Rings of accomplishment, aren't they?
Yes, yes. Well, we've reached that point where we play a little bit of a game with you. We have you pick a number between 1 and 36, and we're going to get that number for you.
Okay, so let's do 33, which is
Oh,
poignant
Oh,
number.
all
that's a
right.
new one again.
There's a new one. This is a real simple question. But it's interesting to hear how everybody would respond to this. What is the best way to explain a dark black pigment when seen in the iris?
Mm. Okay. Usually what I do is I ask if anyone in the family presented anything of, you know, on that organ, or, you know, if there's any, let's say, emotional component to it as well. You know,
Yeah.
for example, if it's on the ovary, tell me a little bit about it.
Mhm.
You know, tell me a little bit about the, you know, the family history, and tell me a little bit about yourself.
Yeah.
So then I try to understand the relationship the person has with that organ
Mhm.
or with something that
Nice.
happened in life.
Mhm.
And I
Love it.
really like, then I really refer back to Louise Hay's work, where she relates organ to emotions. So
Mhm.
I don't focus too much on like potential disease or anything like that, which can be a very scary place for people. I take a look at, what is that telling us? You know, what's the story behind it? What's the family story behind
Mhm.
it?
Mhm.
Yeah.
And then you know, we find out so many amazing things, you know, patterns, energetic patterns, emotions, and things like that. So that's kind of how we open, you know, and explore. So I like to
Beautiful.
explore the topic.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I
And
agree.
I love how you said the relationship with that organ. I think that's great, very profound.
Chris, what would you do with a, how would you explain it?
Well, normally I'd call it a nurture point. I'd say people with eyes like yours are usually related to someone who needs to nurture, or has had some issues with their lungs, or, you know, wherever it may be. and that would start a conversation about how we can physically nurture it, but also emotionally. I don't use Louise Hay's book. I mean, I have got it, but I really like Lise Bourbeau's book. I don't know if you've heard of Lise Bourbeau, a French Canadian writer, and I really resonate with her book about what particular areas of the body mean emotionally and spiritually. So I start a conversation with that as well. But usually they will have some story about some particular family member to tell me, and that we would just start the conversation from there. But I would never point. You never sort of point the bone, obviously.
I do the same thing. I do the very same thing that y'all do. I'd probably take it a step further and go into birth order, because I want to know about the birth placement, where they are, the parent that they're connected to, and then the grandparent or great grandparent that they're connected to. And so I go back into ancestors if I can, 2 or 3 back, 2 or 3 deep, and to see what has come through the family and why that dark pigment is sitting where it is. So I do the same thing that y'all do. I work with the oils, I work with the box, I work with the herbs, in order to take it a little bit deeper, and so we can start get some resolution to what's going on.
Yes, and I had a case, I was just thinking right now as you were speaking, she had on the gallbladder, and we spoke about family, and actually she mentioned her grandmother had gallbladder issues, her mom had it removed, and she also had it removed. So it was very interesting conversation to see how she looked at life, and where they felt the gaps were and things like that. So in relationships, and the focus there was about relationships. So it was very interesting to see what came out of that conversation. And the healing that needed to take place.
Yeah.
I love what I do.
Intergenerational healing.
Yes, and I learned a lot of this with actually Georgina, because I remember it was actually that Iris that I spoke with Georgina. We I did the analysis and I sent it to her, and she said, "You're ready for emotional iridology." And then she spoke about spiritual iridology, and that's when everything came together. And I was like, "Oh my God!" Then we're talking to souls, we're talking to families, generations, So it's much more than just those signs and
absolutely
excellent.
Exciting.
Well, I have so enjoyed talking with you, Cristina. I've enjoyed seeing you face to face and meeting you finally, and because we've only had conversation on email and through webinars and things like that. But I'm so happy that you're just flourishing in Hong Kong. You're just making a difference around the world, girl.
Thank you. And thank you for bringing us together, doing this, the Iridology around the world. Nice. I'm watching the sessions, and I'm loving it, getting to meet the practitioners across the globe and seeing and listening to their own stories. It's so fun. It's really connecting.
I love how we're whizzing literally around the world. Like we were in South Africa, Liverpool, that one hasn't come up yet. Now we've gone in Hong Kong. Just amazing. I love it.
We talk about how IPA is a family, but I really feel like iridology around the world is bringing more of us together as a family of true iridologists that may not be associated with IPA directly, but we still have that bond and we've got that connection out there. So I think we're doing a world of good.
Oh, absolutely.
Thank you.
Very good. Well, Cristina.
Real pleasure to meet you, Cristina.
Yes. Thank you so much for inviting me to join you.
We're going to let you get on with your evening.
Thank
Chris,
you. And we'll let Chris sleep.
Let him go to sleep, and I get to start my day.
All
Excellent.
right.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.